Hey guys, I'm very excited to test out the water Geralt today because I can finally use this 300 bonus crit damage build, and because this skill scale with enemy max HP, I want to see if he's gonna do an amazing job at killing boss and giants and dragons. Here we have a very standard speed endgame dragons team, and usually this slot belongs to the water weapon master, which can one-shot the dragon, but this one I'm not too sure. So let's try out Ren to see how hard this skill can actually hit. That's it. That's that's it. With branding, we're probably gonna go up to 100,000. But that is nowhere near enough to kill the boss. Nowhere near enough at all. Okay? Okay, this time Giant's boss. Skill 2 of the Wind Chicken does pretty good damage. So let's check out the damage of the Shaman, who has 220 crit damage. Only 220. Skill 2, 130,000. This one with 300 crit damage. 112,000. Usually that's not belong to the Wind homunculus, and I would definitely use the wind homunculus over this guy in this particular slot because wind homunculus make this team 100% win rate because of the revive mechanic. So less damage than shaman, and oh my god, less damage than shaman. I am mildly disappointed. But that was the highest crit damage build. Now let me try with a higher attack build, a bit less crit damage. It's not 300, so it's not really cool anymore. But this build will have much higher attack than the last build. Let's check out the damage in the boss. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference because this skill scale with enemy max HP. But let's see. Oh, way better damage. So the attack scaling portion in the skill is actually higher than normal max HP scaling skill. So we went from 70-ish to like 90k, which is quite a big difference, reducing the crit damage and adding way more attack than he should have. Potentially better damage than Shaman in the other boss, potentially. Alright, Shaman damage is 130k. Ren damage is going to be 130k. So with the absolute maximum attack stat and 286 crit damage stat, he barely does the same damage as Shaman, who actually doesn't really have very many good runes on the unit. Barely anything here. So overall, I think this guy is going to be very useless for endgame player because we don't really need his damage in all the dungeon where we run our fast team. But for early or mid-game player, I think this guy is going to be very useful. So now I'll give him back his Fatal Blade rune set, the one you get for free. And I will also grind it a little bit so that the stats going to be a little bit better, and try him out in a more mid-game friendly Dragons and Giants team. Because he's a water unit, he's great for both Dragons and Giants. I think that is the whole purpose of this guy, because he can attack break, he can defense break AoE, and he can have a very strong boss stage skill. So I think he is pretty much the unit you can use in both Dragons and Giants when you start the game. If you start playing the game because of the Witches collab, or you come back and you want to restart Summon as well. So your early game Giants team will probably look something like this. You have a main defense breaker, Beladion, on your broken set Swift rune. You have your first fusion unit, Veramos, for damage. You have another damage deal you can make for free. And then you have this guy who can provide defense break and more damage, and potentially whatever win 5-star you have. Or you get this guy, who is probably the best in slot for your Giants team. And you throw it together, I think this is gonna make a very decent starting Giants speed Abyss team, because I think all of this unit are very free-to-play friendly. Of course, if you have any win 5-star that can do damage and potentially AoE CC, like Savannah or Changpeng or Charlotte, you can try putting them in here as well. But with the Water Jar, I think you're gonna improve your TAM, because you're gonna now have very good boss killing damage and potentially AoE defense break for your trash wave clearing. And if he land the attack break on the boss, then the boss will not hit you as hard, which will make the team even safer. So not only he provide the team with faster runtime potentially with the defense breaking the damage, he also make the team safer, which is probably the best unit an early newbie player can ask for in this dungeon because he's functioning like Shannon, kind of, but he's more aggressive because of the damage that he can do and the debuff that he can do. If you have defense break on, then your team will probably be very, very safe, and you're gonna do a lot of damage with this guy with the free set that they gave you. So you don't even have to rune him. You can max his skill, give him the free rune set, and he's ready to go in your early game Giants team. Or should I say mid game, not early game. Early game is gonna be with a Shannon in there instead of potentially the Akamamiya, because you probably won't get the Ifrit that early on, or you're lucky enough to get the win one. And I think it's gonna be an amazing addition to your Dragon Abyss team as well if you are building your first or second Dragon Abyss team. So you have your core with Verderhau and Veramos and the Spectra that is incredible for dragons. You can put in any defense breaker you want, Beladion or Lauren, or anything else that you want. And then this guy is going to provide attack power reduction. The rune set give him perfect crit rate for dragons. He provide AoE defense break for the trash wave. So he's also really, really good for this dungeon. The fact that he's water, I think Comtus is very self-aware that early game player who join the game who get this unit for free will need to be able to use this unit in as many places as possible. And the first two places that newbie will really struggle with the Dragon Abyss and the Giant's Abyss, and this guy will function really well in both of these dungeons. So I think with the free rune set and the free power up, he's gonna be absolutely incredible in both the dungeon. He's not gonna be like mind-blowing. You're probably gonna replace him if you want to get faster runtime because his damage output is definitely not the most incredible. But for most casual player, I think this guy is the perfect unit for the first two starter dungeon that you have to build a team for. Unlike the previous collaboration with Assassin's Creed, where they gave you the light damage dealer that was supposed to be great for PvP, but then he sucked all the way until today that he is still the most forgotten unit in this game. So 50k damage, not as good as Spectra, I would say, but good enough. And the cooldown for this skill is really, really short because the boss is immune to stun. So Spectra does like 69k damage with the same amount of crit damage. So this guy is going to be great for the dragons as well. I don't think it's going to be great for any PvP content because he doesn't do real damage in any PvP content whatsoever. He does bring a great leader skill for his damage, but because his damage is mainly great in bosses, I don't think he's gonna be amazing. Like if you set him up perfectly like this, right? You have defense break, you have attack buff, then in theory, he can do some damage. Like let's say the skill 2 right here. That's not too bad. But the moment he gets targeted, he will instantly die. And he doesn't have any special counter to any of the meta defense that, let's say, anti-revive, oblivion, sure crit like Miyang, all that good stuff, and this skill reset attack bar. But is it gonna do good damage? Oh wow, that is pretty good damage. But I don't think any serious team will have him as an offense. Of course, if your early game you struggle to build a team, let alone a good team, then he can definitely be used with Fran or Riley and potentially a defense breaker, and you're gonna be okay. Like he's gonna function just right. But for any real serious counter pick, he's not gonna be one of them. Okay, so he's gonna be okay, but definitely not super amazing. Maybe the next video, we're going to try to get him 3 wins in RTA. That's going to be quite a challenge. But that's it for now. What do you guys think about the free water Geralt? Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you actually using him? Or you would put him into storage like I will? Because realistically, I have no real use for him whatsoever. Alright guys, that's it for the video today. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one.